Gary Williams here. Some friends of mine are making a difference in the community, and one of the ways they're doing that is helping to sponsor this podcast. Petroselli Homes Realty Group is a boutique brokerage service located in downtown Niles. They offer a personal and intentional touch to the home buying and selling market. They take the time to learn each client's story, much like this podcast, because to them, the first step in linking buyers to the home of their dreams starts with understanding and a great deal of trust. John and Jennifer Petroselli have had the honor of helping countless buyers and sellers make effective real estate decisions to plant their roots, raise their families, expand their wealth, or simply relax and retire. So if what I've described is what you might be looking for in a realtor, I suggest getting in touch with Petroselli Homes on Niles Boulevard in downtown Niles. Now, coming to you straight from Fremont, California, this is the Fremont Podcast, dedicated to telling the stories of the past and present of the people and places of the city of Fremont, one conversation at a time. Now, here's your host, Ricky B.
Hello, Fremont. You're listening to episode number 22 of the Fremont Podcast. Thank you for joining me once again. I am excited about this episode. I'm actually always excited about our episodes, but I get the opportunity this week to sit down with Cindy Bonior from the Fremont Chamber of Commerce. She is the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, and for those of you who don't know what the Chamber of Commerce is and what they do in our city, good news, that's what this episode is about. And so I'm excited to be able to have her on the podcast. I'm excited to be able to hear her talk about the Chamber of Commerce, which is just nonprofits, which is what the Chamber is. It's her passion, and she has given her life for that, and she is the CEO of our local Chamber of Commerce here. So we get the opportunity to sit down and have this conversation. I think you're going to like it. So let's get started. Here is my conversation with Cindy Bonior of the Fremont Chamber of Commerce. Well, Fremont, we're back today with Cindy Bonior. She is the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, the Fremont Chamber of Commerce. And for those of you who are listening who may not be familiar with the Chamber of Commerce, I wanted to have Cindy on today to talk a little bit about that. So Cindy, thank you for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, so let's start off with, first of all, when did you get involved with the Chamber of Commerce, and at what point did you, maybe become a member, and how long have you been the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce?
So I have been here. I just celebrated my 22nd anniversary here. So 22 years. I have actually, my entire career has been working in nonprofit organizations and serving members in a membership-based organization.
Okay.
So
wow.
That was I've always felt comfortable in that kind of environment, and it's just really fulfilling to be able to help businesses achieve their dreams, help business owners achieve their dreams and goals, and see the community blossom underneath this foundation that we're building for successful businesses.
That's awesome.
Because successful businesses build successful communities.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I love the fact that it's what you've spent your whole life doing, working in nonprofit work, which I think is really, really important. It's not just a bump or a step in a direction. It's like, this is what you've actually invested your life doing. So for somebody who's listening who may be unfamiliar with what the Chamber of Commerce is, can you kind of give me maybe a little nutshell description of what the Chamber of Commerce is?
Sure, of course. So we in the chamber industry always say that every chamber looks different in every city. So, but the umbrella explanation is that we are here to serve the business community and to make it easier for them to do business within the city that they're in, to help promote them and to promote local business. So that's essentially what we do. And we do that through a number of ways. We do that through community events. We do that through educational events, leadership development, advocacy for our businesses. helping our businesses find resources. So it can change from year to year what we do, and really what we do is a reflection of what the business community needs to make the next step forward and be successful.
Okay. So are the members of the chamber primarily business owners, or can other people be involved in the chamber as well?
Well, there's a number of ways. Primarily when we refer to our members, they are paying members of the chamber. They're businesses, both large and small. I think large businesses join in many ways for the advocacy benefits, as well as they realize that a lot of their employees live and play within Fremont, and they want to make sure that they're supporting the community that they're in. And smaller businesses join so that they have the benefits and can utilize that and have the support that they need. We do have some community members, but generally what we tell people is we're here to serve the community as a whole. Okay. Whether you're a member or not, we're here for you. Yeah. We'll answer questions. We'll point you in the right direction. Hopefully you'll see value in what we do and join at some point in time. But there's also ways to participate in the chamber. There's volunteer opportunities, for instance. I know we're going to talk about some of our events, but there's always volunteer opportunities at our events. As a nonprofit, we try to watch all the pennies that we have. So if you have time to come into our office and help out, we'll find a job for you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. If for somebody who maybe is not a business owner or is not involved in small business, big business, whatever, how would they get what does it mean for them, and how would they get involved? And it's these events and the different ways that you operate within the community to help serve the community. There's opportunities for them in that
Absolutely.
way. Yeah, That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the events that you have going on, and I think it's really awesome that I get to have this conversation with you right now. Because of COVID and the pandemic, these events that we're about to talk about, you haven't had them for almost 2 years or over 2 years?
We've missed 2 years.
Wow.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
And that's affected you guys a lot too, right? I mean, as far as like the events help you as a chamber to be able to serve the community, and it's affected you in ways as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We, in order to keep our dues as low as possible, we use community events to help fundraise. And when we lost those events during the 2 years of the pandemic, we of course lost some ability to do that. And the funny thing is, people don't realize, is during some of that time, our staff was furloughed because we didn't know where the money was going to come from. Okay. At that point, we had to work our way through it. And as a 501c6, we did not have access to a lot of the funds and relief that other organizations did. However, our staff was like, well, I'm just sitting home, so give me something to do. I'll do my job.
Wow.
So I feel very blessed, and our business community should feel very blessed that during the pandemic, not the entire pandemic, but during the pandemic when we had to furlough staff, everyone just kept going about business as usual, whether they got a paycheck or not.
Wow, that's great. Well, thank you guys for doing that. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I'm excited that we're able to start some of these events again for the new year, and I think already one of the events or series of events that you have going on is Street Eats, and I think you kind of had I saw it was defined as a soft open last week on Friday, was it? And then it's basically tell me what Street Eats is exactly.
Okay,
it's on Friday nights, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Street Eats is a weekly community event. We start the first weekend or the first Friday in May, and we finish up with one of the last Fridays in October, just depending on weather and some other things. And we bring in food trucks, and there's probably between 8 and 12 food trucks. And we have a beer and wine booth, and we put out games for kids. We have like Jenga, cornhole. We do once in a while, we do a movie night. We'll do a celebration for Halloween. Sometimes we do other celebrations. I think we've done Mexican Independence Night. We've done a Star Wars night. So we do little things just to entertain people there. But really, and I don't want to forget this. We have line dancing every week.
I was going to say, I remember before COVID going quite often to the Street Eats, and it just seemed like there was the one thing I remember the most was the dancing that was going on.
Yeah, it's funny because this whole group of people comes in just to do the line dancing. Bless their hearts, because it is kind of fun. So we have a DJ there, and we have line dancing. Once in a while, we have a live band. we just vary the entertainment, and all that's available online on our website.
Yeah, and where exactly is that held right now? Because I think at one time, has it changed since before COVID? I think now it's being held somewhere else.
Yeah, actually, we've had to move several times. So right now it's being held in the Downtown Event Center Plaza, which has really been a great location for us now because there's grass where people can sit and people can bring their dogs and their kids. And I saw kids playing with beach balls on the lawn last time. So really a great fun community event.
That's awesome.
And the bar tips that our staff makes, every year our staff will get together and talk about who we want to donate the bar tips to, and usually it comes out to around $4,000 or $5,000 every year. We donate that to. This year, it's going to the city of Fremont has a scholarship fund for their recreation and day camps for kids who are not in a position for their parents to pay for that themselves. So there's scholarships available, and that's where the tips are going this year. But we've done it to food banks and some other places too.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah,
that's really cool. So that's Friday nights, street eats downtown on the new Main Street area, the plaza down there.
Yeah.
And then we have a big event coming up. When this airs, it'll be. Let's see. When is the burger?
May 21st.
May 21st. So it's 2 weekends from now. It'll be about a week from when we launch this. So tell me about Burgers and Brews. What is that?
So Burger and Brew, we're in our 6th year. So unfortunately, we missed 2 years in there, obviously. But this will be actually 6 years that we've had it. And what we did this because we wanted to do some placemaking for the new downtown area. And this was a way to bring people into the downtown, getting them used to going into that area. And then it's just really a celebration of craft beer and local businesses and things like that. So it's beer tasting at its finest. We have, this year we're having, we have 12 breweries right now. We'll probably bump that up by a couple more by the time we offer it. And you buy a ticket and you're given a glass and you go around to all the breweries and you get to taste. Each brewery usually brings like 2 brews. Two or more brews.
Okay, yeah.
So, by the time you're there's probably like 30 brews out there. And so you can taste it. It's 4-ounce pour, but, how much can one person drink at that point in time? And then we have a stage where we're going to have some folks playing on the main stage. So this year we're looking at having Surf Monster, Daniel Castro Band, and Luna Fish. So they'll be on the main stage. And then we have, this is one of my favorite parts, is the Burger Throwdown.
Okay.
And the Burger Throwdown is we have 4 teams. And we call them celebrity chefs, and it's a team of 2 people. The police department always has a team. The fire department always has a team, and it's really kind of this battle between the 2 of them every year. It's kind of fun to see that. It's all in good fun, but they battle it out. And then this year's supervisor, David Halbert, is going to have a team, as well as council member Rick Jones.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, yeah,
all
it's
locals.
really exciting. Yeah. And we have one of our sponsors, Star One, puts the money in. So what we do with that sponsorship money is each winning team, they choose a charity of their choice. So each of them plays for a different charity. And then the winning team, the money goes to their charity.
That's awesome.
So
That's
it's fun. And they get these really cool looking trophies with a burger on top of it. And they keep everyone gets a trophy who participates. So it's just really a fun community kind of atmosphere where we cheer on our favorite team. So that's one of my favorite things about the Burger and Brew Fest.
That's great. So that's May 21st. And what are the times for that? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you have to buy a ticket to get in the door, and then you just basically have access to whatever's there. Or how does that work?
So you do buy a ticket. And it's not to get in the door because it's an outdoor event.
Okay.
So if you're going to drink, but your significant other is not, you just buy a ticket for yourself to be able to get the pours. Okay. And kids are welcome because it is outside. And it starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we wrap up at 5. So the last pour is at 5.
Wow.
But the new event this year in it is spirits pouring. So we're going to have a VIP spirit area.
Wow.
It is an upsell on the ticket. It's an additional $20.
Okay.
And we will have 5 different spirits, distilled spirits. And you go around and you can taste those as well. And each of them will have at least 2 kinds of spirits that you can taste too. So it's the first year we've launched this.
Okay.
So we're kind of testing that out to see if it's something that people enjoy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So beside the throwdown, the burger throwdown, are there also people making burgers that you can buy as well in sides, or is that pretty much the throwdown, the burger part of it?
So the burger part of it also includes we have several food trucks there.
Okay.
And each food truck is required to have at least one kind of burger, and they get to define what their burger is.
Nice.
So even if it's an Asian or an Indian, that might not be traditionally, a hamburger may not be traditionally in
Part of their menu. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But they create one for the event.
Nice.
And then it shows up on their menu in addition to whatever else they
And those
sell
burgers, that's separate from the ticket that you buy for the pouring. You just pay for the burger at the food truck.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And we also have a taster's choice for the beer too. So there's an online app that you go on to and vote for your favorite brew. And then on at 5:00, we award a trophy.
That's awesome. So if someone let's say someone wakes up, I doubt this is going to happen. Someone wakes up Saturday morning, they tune into the Fremont podcast and they hear about this, and it's 9:30, and they're like, "Wait a minute, the burger and brew starts in like an hour and a half." Do you have to get a ticket ahead of time, or can you show up and buy a ticket on the day of?
Well, I hope it happens. I mean, doesn't everyone wake up on Saturday morning and listen to the Fremont podcast?
That's right. Everyone, I know. Who doesn't do that?
But yes, you can buy tickets on site.
Okay.
You can buy them online ahead of time at burgerandbrewfest.com, or you can buy them on site as well at the door.
Awesome.
Kind of
well, what other kind of events do you do? I mean, like you have the street eats on Friday nights throughout the summer, and then we have the Burger and Brew Fest. What else do you have going on this year?
The mother of all events, and that's the that's the Festival of the Arts, and that almost doubles the population of Fremont.
Wow.
For that one event.
Wow.
And people who have been here for a long time may know it as the Fremont Art and Wine Festival.
Okay.
So.
Is there a story behind why they changed the names, or just made it easier to say the?
It was before I came here, so I don't really know. There's a big controversy. It's like every time we post on Facebook, someone says this used to be the Art and Wine Festival.
Yeah.
But that's coming up, and that is August 6th and 7th.
Okay.
And usually we have in the neighborhood of 400 to 500 artisans there.
Wow.
And it's all handcrafted. And one thing about this is we also have the festival, we have structured it so that our members can have booths there as well.
Okay.
So it's a way to get to know the local businesses in Fremont.
Yeah.
And also they have the ability to sell. So you can buy something from a local store there as well if they choose to sell something. Wow. So,
and this is pretty significant too. This is not just like the plaza. This is like, if I remember correctly, I happened on it like a few years ago, and I was driving down a street, and I just remember being blocked, and I didn't know why it was blocked and what was going on, and I realized I had to find out, so I pulled over and got out, and I started, going through the different booths, and I just thought it was super cool. So where exactly is this located, and how big is it? Like, where does it take place?
So it takes place on Paseo Padre and Walnut. In that area. So Walnut between Civic and Beacon, and Paseo Padre between Maury and Stevenson. Okay. And so it is 4 walking miles.
Okay. Wow.
It's huge. It's a big event.
So what day is that, so we can plan both to be there and to not have to drive through that area? Yeah. What day is that?
August 6th and 7th.
Okay. So it's a Saturday and Sunday?
It's a Saturday and Sunday. So in addition to, I talked about the local businesses and the artisans, we also have 2 stages. We have 3 stages, one a community stage and then two professional stages. We have a kids area that kids can play in. There's all kinds of exhibits going on.
Wow.
So there's a lot going on at the festival. So
That
it's
is
kind of
so
something for
cool.
everyone at it.
Yeah. Wow, that's really awesome. Do they still have wine? I mean, if it's not the wine festival anymore,
There's plenty of beer and wine there. Plenty of beer and wine.
That's great. Well, that's exciting to look forward to. I know that when I went last time, my son, I think he was probably 5 or 6 years old, just had a blast. I think there's different kids areas and stuff that he got to take advantage of, just playing around and stuff. And I enjoyed going around and seeing the different artists and all the different people that were there. And it was just a fun time. So really glad you guys do this.
Yeah, I think people have really missed it. I know I've missed it.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward to getting back to normal, whatever that is now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
looking forward to these events again and being out and seeing people.
Well, it sounds to me like you have your hands full. I mean, like having been off for 2 years and then coming back and like jumping right back into this, it actually is exciting to see that when I see these new events, or maybe not new events, but the events starting back up again. It seems like people are certainly eager to get back out, and I know that probably puts a lot of pressure on you guys to make sure that things are just kind of ready to go for everyone out there. But I'm excited and I'm thankful that you guys are putting the time and effort and all this into it. Now, what you were talking earlier about raising funds from these events. What are the funds raised for? They go back to you as a chamber, or where do they end up?
Yeah, thanks for asking that, because that's an important thing to know, I think, for the community to know and understand. Some of the money does go back to the chamber, just so we can continue to do our job and turn on the lights and flip on the computer.
I would hope so.
Yeah, but over the years, since the Festival of the Arts, anyway, has been operating, we have raised over $10 million for nonprofits in the community. So a lot of nonprofits have booths there. They can do donations, or they can collect donations, or they have food booths there that they sell the food at, and then whatever they raise goes directly to them.
Wow.
So over $10 million. And that's
incredible.
Yeah, and those are mostly local organizations. They're not like national organizations.
Yeah, it's not like just disappears into some
right. So it
pot.
goes back and circulates back through the community. So, and these organizations are doing really good things. I mean, they support kids events, they support research, they support cancer survivors and whatever needs they may have. Those are just a handful of them. Yeah. So that's really important.
Do you have like does someone from the public have access to like a website that shows where some of these funds are being given to some of the nonprofits that are benefiting from this?
Yes. Okay. So the festival is fremontfestival.net, and it will list the organizations that are participating and where that money is going to.
Okay.
So that's on there. And then, of course, I talked about the Street Eats, where that goes to the Scholarship Fund for Children in Need. And the Burger and Brew Fest, some of the funds for that go to Dollars for Scholars, which are post-secondary scholarships for kids who are entering college, or a four-year institution, or some kind of trade school or something.
Okay.
Four-year college isn't for everyone, so we want to support whatever it is they choose to do in their future.
Yeah, I think trades are so valuable for people, and I think, I've never said this on the podcast. I used to be an electrician and had my own electrical business for a while, and I benefited from that so much. And so you come into a place like the Silicon Valley where everyone's doing tech jobs, which are great, and I think that right now our world, it kind of runs on technology, but the truth is that you learn so many valuable skills by being involved in the trades, and I think it's just really, really good. So I'm glad that you guys are investing in kids who are following those dreams, which I think is really, really cool.
I agree. It's very important.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you. If someone wanted to learn more, it might be kind of obvious, but if somebody wanted to learn more, or say someone wanted to volunteer or be a part of it, how would they connect with you, and how could they volunteer? So
there's a variety of ways. We have messages coming through us through a million different avenues, but you can always call us, 510-795-2244, leave a message, or someone will answer the phone. FremontFestival.net is the festival. BurgerandBrewFest.com is the Burger and Brew Fest. FremontStreetEats.com. or the Chamber's website, which will connect to all those websites, is fremontbusiness.com.
Okay.
And then there's also Facebook, which we get a lot of messages on too.
Right. That's great. Well, if you were to look forward, say in 5 or 10 years, and you can just dream and imagine what the Chamber of Commerce could do in our city, like what are some of the things that you would love to see happen, or what are some of the ways in which the Chamber of Commerce could become it helps serve the community even more in the future?
Wow, that's a big question.
I didn't prep you for that.
No,
one,
you
so
didn't.
No, I sprung that on you.
You did swing that, but that is a really great question. We, like I've said, we're very much attuned to nonprofits and embracing the community. So I want to continue to serve them and to leave those opportunities open, because even we are a nonprofit. So, I understand the challenges they have and things like that. But really, what I really want to see is more small, local businesses thrive.
Yes.
And I want to see, like we talked about, we're building the downtown and there's all this retail space on the ground. I want to see those being local businesses, not chains. And I want to see those people living in our community. I want to see them at events. So I think we have a great sense of community, but I think I really want to build on that. And that not only includes doing these events and doing the nonprofits, but includes matching up businesses with those and seeing them work together and really taking great pride where they live. I know that living in, like you said, everything's high tech now and things that it's easy to get disconnected from individuals. And we learned that during the pandemic for sure.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see us rally more around one another.
That's great. Well, I think if someone's jumping in on this episode and you haven't listened to any of the previous episodes on the Fremont podcast, if you go back, you'll find out that I interviewed a lot of small businesses already in Fremont. And I think that one of the things that I keep hearing from these small business owners, most of them are Fremont residents. And a lot of them have grown up in this community, and they just have this love and this passion for the Fremont community. And I do think that it's these small businesses and these small business owners that help give Fremont an even more distinct personality. And it is, I hope it is the future of our city. I hope it is something that really helps Fremont to blossom and become a very special place to live and to be. And so I think just the fact that your role as the Chamber of Commerce is to support these small businesses and to help bring them together and help them succeed, I think that's just beautiful. I think it's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, thank you. I do too. I mean, we're surrounded by like big metropolis kind of cities. So I like that we are who we are.
Yeah.
And people talk about growing. It's like, growing is good, but we want to make sure we keep the atmosphere that we already have.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Cindy, thank you so much. I actually hope that I get to have you on here again, because I'd love to hear more about the Chamber of Commerce in the future.
Thank you. I'd love to.
Yeah, and maybe
this was fun.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we can talk more about some of the businesses that we have going on and ways that we've seen them help benefit the community as well. But thank you so much for your time. I'm hoping to get to the Burger and Brew Festival myself, and I can't wait for the Arts Festival. I think that'll be awesome.
Great. Good. Well, you better be there. I'm going to be looking for you.
There you go. I hope so. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Fremont Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever it is that you listen so you don't miss an episode. And if you're so inclined, leave a kind review so that others can find the podcast. To stay connected with us, you can find links to our social media and other content at thefremontpodcast.com. This episode was hosted, edited, and produced by Ricky B. Music provided through Soundstripe.com. I'm Gary Williams. Join us next week on the Fremont Podcast.
Muggins Media.